Carly Posey, thanks for joining us on the Illinois Channel. And we here are at the school board conference, and you have a message that you want to share with people. Sadly, I think almost everyone's going to remember the Sandy Hook Elementary shooting. It was one of the most shocking in the nation, and in a series of shocking events. And you had two children, as I understand, at the school at that time. From that, you started the ILoveUGuys Foundation. Walk us through the evolution. This is not something that you said, this is what I want to be when I grow up and do when I grow up. So let's just start first, how you got involved and the experience that you had, and then what you're trying to achieve with the foundation.
Okay. I did not start the ILoveUGuys Foundation. I work for the ILoveUGuys Foundation. The foundation was actually started by John Michael and Ellen Keyes after they lost their daughter Emily in the Platte Canyon school shooting in 2006. They started the ILoveUGuys Foundation. We aligned on school safety issues. We both became kind of students of school safety after we had been through personal tragedies of our kids at school. And that is how I met John Michael and Ellen Keyes when I moved to Colorado the day after the tragedy at Sandy Hook Elementary School.
And your two children survived.
Correct. That's correct. So I had a first grader in the school that day and a fourth grader in the school that day. Yes, they both survived. I had two other children in the intermediate school in Newtown in fifth grade that day.
And so what is the mission of the ILoveUGuys Foundation?
It's to protect the joy of youth is in the mission statement, which can entail a lot of things. John Michael and Ellen Keyes really realized when they kind of dove into the topic of school safety that there wasn't common language in emergencies or crises in schools between law enforcement and first responders and school district staff and teachers and students. So they worked really hard to create the standard response protocol, which brings common language to all those groups I just mentioned in any kind of emergency that could happen in a school.
And what would be an example of some of that common parlance?
So you have, lockdown. So in the standard response protocol is 5 actions. You have lockdown, lockout, shelter, evacuate, and hold. So within all of those actions are then protocols that law enforcement can use that same language that teachers are using to tell kids what to do in an emergency.
And you come to conferences like this to spread the message. You're going to, I presume, I think you give a much longer talk than what we're going to do here. Yeah. So we're just throwing a stone across the lake, so to speak, yes, and hitting some of the high points. Right. First of all, how many times what kind of groups do you talk to? How many speeches just roughly would you give over the course of a year?
So I just started speaking outside of Colorado this year, and I just started working with the ILoveUGuys Foundation this year as well. In the years prior, so it's almost been 6 years since my kids were at the Sandy Hook School Elementary shooting. And in those early years, I was focusing on how to get my kids healthy, mentally healthy again. It was a long road. I didn't feel like I could speak about the tragedy because I was living it every day until I kind of came to the other side of it and began speaking to, school districts will have me come speak, or I'll speak at conferences. John Michael Keyes does, training on the SRP and the standard reunification method. So we're just both, all of us are out there that are involved in the foundation, really on the whole picture of school safety.
And you brought up something, and I don't want to make it too sensitive, hopefully, for you, but you bring up something that those of us who only see this on the news, mm-hmm, which is the majority of us, we hear X number of kids were killed, mm-hmm, in a school shooting. But we don't necessarily appreciate that all those other kids that were traumatized and their families, mm-hmm, and how long does that emotional trauma stay with those people? Mm-hmm. That's what, yes, your kids survived, mm-hmm, but I was going to say, have they overcome that fear? Do you ever overcome that kind of fear? Or what are all of us, mm-hmm, not seeing, and how do you live through the aftermath of such a tragedy?
So, the aftermath really starts when you're in this emergency. So since our reunification process, I came to the firehouse to try to find my children. That did not go well, because we hadn't planned for that at our school district to reunify students with parents and what we were going to do if something like this happened at our school. We really honestly did not think it could happen. I'm here to tell you that it can happen anywhere because I was in that mindset before. So it started off with me not feeling like my school district had a plan, could help me. So I couldn't really turn to them in the aftermath either to get help. So we were kind of on our own. We did move to Colorado the next day. So we moved away from everyone else that had experienced that tragedy. But I'll have to tell you, it's a very long road to, I don't think you ever overcome it, no. It changes your life in every single way imaginable. And we've tried to make those changes be positive changes and not negative changes. And that's been our mission as a family, as getting my kids back healthy and back to school.
How are you funded? The foundation?
The foundation is funded through donations, through honorariums, and through training is how the I Love You Guys Foundation is funded.
We won't go much longer, but is the training always in person, or do you have by chance training online that people can look at?
Right now the training is all in person, and I feel like that's the best way to be trained. You know, these days I know we have all the technology and everything, but it's really, you know, to have that in-person training, be able to ask questions, be in the training with your peers. Like I said, it's all about having people be on the same page. So it is a lot of those conversations that go on in the training between law enforcement and school administrators, school board members. All those people need to be hearing the same message, getting the same training, so then they all know what to do in an emergency or in a reunification.
And if somebody wants to get a hold of you and have you come and speak, how do they do that?
So my email address is Carly at ILoveUGuys.org, and that's also our website. So please visit our website. It's ILoveUGuys.org is our website, and there's tons of free information on our website that you can download, print off yourself, posters, all kinds of things that you can gain from our website for free.
Well, thank you for joining us.
Yay, thank you.